It's Press Pass with Jack Ebling, Mid-Michigan's spirited sports debate. Now let's get talking sports. Here's Jack.
Great evening, Mid-Michigan and beyond, and welcome to Press Pass here on Fox 47, a special remote show from the United Center in Chicago after Michigan State captured a Big Ten tournament championship, 65-60 over the University of Michigan. Time to meet Team 286, Tom Crawford, my longtime radio partner, Bluebelly Tom. He is co-host of The Drive with Jack and Tom, weekdays from 3 to 6 on the Spotlight Radio Network and heard around the world, jackandtom.com. How are you, Tom?
I thought the third time was going to be the charm, especially at the 17-minute mark, but of the first half, but the second half, rather. But Michigan State did what they do. They managed to pull it out. In the end, they made the play. Matt McQuaid was sensational today.
You asked for this, Tom.
I did.
You wanted a fourth one.
Well, yeah, maybe
the fourth
time will be the charm. Let's get them both to Minneapolis.
Yeah,
You ever quit while you're behind?
Duke might have something to say.
Michigan State, kind of bittersweet with the injury to Kyle Arns. A lot of people were saying, why do they play this event? Why do they play these games? They're going to be really asking that now, although Michigan State's philosophy was, hey, it could have happened in Monday's practice.
It could have, Jack, but it's still one of those. You won the Big Ten tournament, but it was bittersweet. You lost Kyle Arns for the rest of the year. So, what did you really gain from this? You didn't get a 1 seed. So
No.
it is what it is.
Even though Michigan State moved to the 5th spot, moved ahead of Kentucky, that didn't seem to matter. And Michigan State stuck with Duke, the number 1 overall seed. It doesn't seem like if you're the number 1 or number 2 seed, that you should be playing the number 1 seed. But that's the way it was, and Michigan State's going to have to settle for back-to-back-to-back over University of Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, maybe they lose and they go out west and they get a rematch with a secret practice with Gonzaga. So, but you know what? If you want to win a title,
Yeah, that's where and it's the same fate. They play in Montana in the first game, and then they're on the Western region. So they're Anaheim as opposed to LA.
you want to win a title, you got to go through the
You
Duke.
got to beat everybody in front of you.
Right.
Win 6 games.
The way things have gone for Michigan State this year, I'm kind of surprised that Duke and Kentucky weren't both seated ahead of Michigan State. They had to do that in 2005 and beat them both. They've had to overcome so much adversity this year. You could have done that, made Michigan State a 3 seed.
It would be nice. Michigan State doesn't really get that. I don't know if it's the fact that Hollis isn't there anymore, but
Maybe you got to work the committee like you work officials. Maybe
they work them like they work me a lot.
The people you see in the background here are tearing down the United Center as we speak. So understand union labor. I
If
get
they
all
pick
that.
us up while we're at it, you'll get a truck.
So we may or may not be in this location again.
We will be back in just a couple of minutes with more, talking about NCAA seedings and the championship game on Press Pass.
Scratch and save at Art Van Pure Sleep Mattress. Save up to $800 on mattresses, plus up to $300 reward cards, 0% up to 72 months, and free delivery. Scratch and win $5,000 in cash today at Art Van Pure Sleep Mattress.
March means Wallside's sweet 16% off sale. An extra 16% off every Wallside window. We're celebrating our 75th year with big savings. So get 50% off every custom-made, professionally installed window. Then take an extra 16% off for cash. Or 5 years, no interest. The cold weather isn't done yet, but an extra 16% off ends soon. Wallside Windows. Call 1-800-521-7800.
Welcome to Russell and Schrader Insurance.
Hastings Mutual is a trusted partner of ours. Call Joe Daly for a Hastings Mutual insurance quote. They are hard to beat. Call Dylan Bond today. From business to farms, Hastings Mutual and Russell and Schrader Insurance will protect your best assets.
Proudly founded and manufactured in the Midwest, Skag mowers are affordable and built to last. You can find them all at Superior Saw. Our honest and polite staff can help you with your Skag mower purchase before and after the sale. Superior Saw, between Holt and Mason on Cedar.
Today, scratch and save at Art Van Furniture and Mattress. Get up to an extra 25% off the lowest price with 0% for 20 months. Win $5,000 in cash, $3,000 room packages, and more. Only at Art Van Furniture and Mattress.
Download the Fox 47 News app and stay connected everywhere you go.
Well, I got my start in officiating when a friend told me I should try it. At first, I just did basketball, and I got hooked. Before long, I added baseball, softball, football, and volleyball. I really enjoy giving back to the game, working with kids, and working with my local association to recruit and train new officials. I would like to say to anybody that officiating is a great way to help kids and stay connected to the game. We always need new officials. There's help wanted, just listen.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Tracking a Trophy segment. We're talking about the NCAA tournament. And for a lot of people, that's all that matters. College basketball is a 34-game warm-up for a 6-game season. I hate that thinking, but for a lot of people, Tom Crawford, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, it is the NCAA tournament. That's the sad part, because one and done and you're gone. But, you know, I'm telling you what, for people who belittle the Big Ten championship, tournament championship, they should have been in here in the United Center. This was an incredible environment. It was really like a Texas OU football game, half and half. The crowd was really amped up. My team lost. I'm telling you what, I was glad I was here. I just thought it epitomized what Michigan State have moving forward for many years to come.
As we look at who's on the NCAA bubble, as they say, we spend so much time worrying about which teams are 66, 67, 68. Maybe I'll spend more time worrying about who the 1 and 2 seeds are and where they are assigned to play. And Tom, it doesn't seem like the Big Ten gets a fair shake in this, playing Sunday afternoon, and now Michigan and Michigan State have to go play Thursday.
Yeah, but you get rewarded if you get through that first week. In the second week, and you're in a Friday, Sunday if you're in a Thursday, Saturday first round. So there's just, you got to trudge through it. But yeah, Michigan State, I'll be honest with you, they kind of got screwed. I think, the fact that they're playing Duke, in that
playing a
region,
number one.
Yeah, that just doesn't make sense to me. I don't, and I'm happy with Michigan's region. I'm disappointed what happened today, but I'm thrilled with the draw that Michigan had.
Let's look at the number 1 seeds, Rico. Did the committee get it right? Duke, number 1 in the East. Virginia, the second number 1 in the South. North Carolina, the third number 1 in the Midwest. So the top 3 teams, all from the ACC. And the fourth number 1 is Gonzaga, and they'll go out west.
In the committee's eyes, yes, they got it right. Here's why, and this is a tough pill for a lot of Big Ten people to swallow. You don't win the national title. The ACC and Villanova have won the last few national titles. We talk about the Duke North Carolina rivalry. The reason why it's a rivalry, they got hardware. They have trophies. We had Tom Izzo on last week, and he talked about that.
But the selection committee says it's based on all the evidence from this season. They're not talking about what you did in 2004 or 7 or 10 or 13.
Okay, Jack, do you still believe in the tooth fairy?
I believe the Big Ten has been in the Final Four.
Absolutely.
No, they have.
But the 2 teams from the state of Michigan.
Because they don't win the title, I don't think they get that respect. You know what? Maybe we should give them a 1 seed, because if given the opportunity, if you had to pick between a Big Ten team and an ACC team right now to win the national title, just conference, which conference would you
say? They don't do it by conference. So just be honest, right? If you do it by conference, then say that. The bottom line is, last year, Tom, the national championship game, I didn't see an ACC team in that game.
Yeah, Duke got knocked out in the Sweet 16. So
I also did not see a team from the Champions Classic when we were all in Indianapolis. Right. There wasn't one team there other than Michigan State that won a regular season championship.
It's true, Jack. They win the regular season. But as you said in that first segment, a lot of people look at what you do in the tournament. Michigan State, no one's in the Big Ten has won a national title since Michigan State in 2000. We're going on 19 years. Okay, you got pretty much most teams that are playing, they don't really remember.
Do you think Michigan State was seeded correctly?
I don't think they were seated correctly. I'm looking at it through the eyes of the committee. I'm not saying that they were right. I'm just saying I can see where the committee says.
My point is, if they're not a number 1, fine. So why would you make them play the toughest number 1 if they are the highest seeded,
should be inverted.
Number 2? They should be playing Gonzaga.
Well, the 8th ranked 2 seed should be playing Duke, in other words.
Kevin Boggess said that they don't do the snake thing anymore. So that's a misconception.
Based on location.
Right.
But Michigan State didn't even get the closest site. It didn't even get to go play in Louisville. Kentucky gets to do that.
Right. And Michigan's going out west for the 2nd year in a row.
Well, Kentucky's a little closer to Louisville.
But if Michigan State was the 5th seed,
I know
the problem is they don't count this game. This game means nothing in terms of the NCAA selection. It was done by that
point.
They
got to do
and they didn't do a contingency bracket.
The Big 12 said, Kansas said, we're done with this. We're moving our game forward. The Big 10's got to step up and move the game forward. This is ridiculous. Do it Saturday
ACC did
night.
the same thing. They used to play on Sunday afternoon. Yeah. They said, we're not going to get taken.
Kansas felt like they were getting screwed every year, and they flipped it forward. Why didn't the Big 10 do that? Maybe Delaney, maybe him leaving, that'll change it.
What about the rest of this conference and other teams that got seeded? Ohio State did get in. Yeah. Iowa got in as a 10 seed.
Indiana was one of those first 4 out, but they had 15 losses. So, I mean, that's understandable.
It's interesting, too, when you look at what teams have been successful in football and basketball. The Wisconsin Badgers have more combined NCAA tournament and bowl appearances in the last 25 years than any other school, 43, and there's a tie for second with 39 with Michigan State and Florida. So those are schools that have managed to do it both ways.
You're right. I mean, Wisconsin is the model of consistency. They don't win, but my goodness.
Hey, they got to the title.
Wisconsin will always be in the top 4 in the Big Ten in basketball, and you know, every 3 out of 4 years, they'll be in Indianapolis in football.
Well, we have tons to talk about what happened here at the United Center. We'll do that and break down the game just a moment on Press Pass.
It's the Kraft Saving of the Green Sale, the time of year to save a pot of gold. Release the leprechauns.
The savings at Kraft are crazy. Yeah! Kraft's minimum trade is back. Get more gold for your trade.
Get a 2019 Silverado Double Cab 4-wheel drive, just $242 a month. Or drive a new Chevrolet Trax for only $96 a month.
It's the Kraft Saving of the Green Sale going on now at a Kraft dealership near you. You'll save so much money, you'll feel like dancing like a leprechaun too.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
Team spirit, face paint, more cowbell. Dean Trailways Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
Ride with Chicago PD, weekdays at noon on My 47.4.
Hi, I'm Realtor Brock Fletcher from the selling team with Keller Williams. Mid-Michigan homeowners who sell their homes with us get an average of 98% of their asking price and sell their home in an average of 28 days. Call us today at 517-853-6408.
Looking out for your business is important.
Hey, new equipment looks great.
And in this moment, you realize your independent auto owner's insurance agent is the right person to protect it.
Holden Diamond Dale Insurance Agency, we are
your hometown team.
Like lots of chrome and music legends, Jet's Pizza is Detroit style. Shaped by steel pans, inspired by the Motor City. Baked to the thickest, crispiest crunch, then topped with premium mozzarella, fresh toppings, and Mama Jet's secret sauce. Jet's Pizza is Detroit style pizza. You want Detroit style proof? Get our deep dish 8-corner pizza for just $12.99. Jet's, better because it has to be.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Going Green segment, brought to you by Graf Chevrolet, a trusted friend, 105 years in the automobile business. Stop see Matt, Mark, and Greg on West Grand River in Okemos. They'll take great care of you as I have on all 6 of my leases and purchases. Go green, go Graf. There you see a look at Michigan State's 15 Big Ten titles in the Tom Izzo era, 24 seasons, 9 regular season championships, 6 tournament titles, and that is 4 more than Bob Knight has at Indiana. Rico, the Spartans didn't have to win the Big Ten tournament to be validated. Didn't even matter to the committee that they did, but it was sure nice to do it. When you think that 32 of Tom Izzo's 602 career wins have come in the conference tournament, what does that mean?
It means that Tom Izzo, he knows how to get his team motivated for each level. It shows that, we can do the regular season, but when it comes to the tournament, we got to do a little more. And this year, more than others, this is one of the reasons why I said he should have been Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
Because he is holding this thing together with chewing gum and duct tape. And now you lose another piece in Kyle Arns, but yet he got this team, after being down 12 against Michigan, to come back and win this thing. So I think that this shows that Tom Izzo is a Hall of Fame coach.
Tom, one of the funniest things I've ever seen at a tournament, they have a woman sitting at the end of the bench, and her job was to get Joshua Langford his scooter.
I see that. I've been watching it the last couple of days.
And then when Kyle Arns was hurt, they had the crutches on top of the scooter, and she didn't know what to do. She needed to get an assistant just to get the Michigan stairs.
And Nick Ward took his cast off his hand, and they were like, no, Nick, you're going to put that thing back on. So.
Tom, when Xavier Tillman could only play 5 minutes and 45 seconds of the first half with the 2 fouls, and when Arns was wheeled off the court with that serious ankle injury, it's not a broken ankle, but he is going to miss the rest of this season. Did you think the Spartans were in over their heads with a team that was looking for a double pay?
Well, yeah, because, it was the last half of the first half, first part of the second half. Michigan went on like a 20-6 run. And they had that 12-point lead, the 17-minute mark. But they didn't, Michigan State came down, made a couple big buckets, and McQuaid, was unbelievable. And then Ziggy would just get sucked into the lane, and all of a sudden, where is he? All of a sudden, Cassius was an incredible ability to rotate the ball. He's over there in the corner, boom. There's your ball game. That was 27 points by McQuaid. I thought was obviously a huge ingredient to this win for Michigan State.
7 for 13 for McQuaid from deep, Rico, and that kept Michigan State in the game.
He had to. They needed every one of his points, all 27 points that he gave them, because you got nothing from Kenny Goins. Had probably his worst game ever.
Right.
You know what? It's okay, because he's bailed them out so many games.
Didn't make a basket.
Not a basket. 0 points. And you look at it. Kyle Arns, who looked like he was about to get hot. Right. He hit his 3-pointer. He was 1 for 2, and then he's done. Tillman was good, but he wasn't great. He wasn't like he was a week ago at the Breslin Center. Yeah, if it wasn't for Matt McQuaid, keeping this team afloat and then letting Cassius finish him off, we're probably, this whole feel of this show is a little different. It's going to be a lot more smiles on that end of the table.
Well, I thought, they shut, if you want to say shut down Charles Matthews, he had 1 rebound and 2 points. And he played well the last 2. He's been fresh, and he, coming off the injury. And I thought Charles was going to be a key ingredient going into this game, and Michigan State just put him to a hole.
Rico, what did we learn about Michigan State this weekend, especially today? A 3rd straight comeback win over Michigan, and now heading to the 22nd straight NCAA tournament. The NCAA tournament is on the schedule.
It is on the schedule. Jack, I think we learned what everybody already knows. This team goes as Cassius Winston goes. As much as we want to say how great Matt McQuaid was, at the end of the game, it was Cassius Winston, and it was the drives, and it's tied 60-60. Right. And somehow or another, he was able to get that much space between him and Teske. Izzo said they came up with a new play and decided instead of running ball screens, they did a crisscross to give him a hair amount of space. Right. He found that.
Closed it.
You know what? It looked like he got bumped, but he didn't care. He went in there. The ball hung on the lip of the rim and fell in. It was Cassius. It was money time. He showed why he's the MVP.
I thought for a minute Michigan State was going to try to get behind so then they could come back.
I know, the template basically is the same thing.
We'll be back. We're going to look at this from the Michigan perspective. Out of the Blue, up next.
Mesothelioma. It's all we do. With 9 offices across the country, we are large enough to take on big corporations. There is no risk. Let us come meet with you.
We only take mesothelioma claims. Call us at 1-800-400-6731 or go to mesobook.com.
Our experience and the size of our law firm makes a difference. Call us at 1-800-400-6731 or visit mesobook.com.
The rule of threes states, things that come in threes are inherently more appealing than those that don't. We couldn't agree more. Three SUVs, one GMC. GM employee program participants with a current GM lease can get this 2019 GMC Acadia SLE1 for $199 per month for 24 months.
Visit Glenn Buki, Crippen, Jim Winter, and Team 1.
Download the Fox 47 Storm Shield app and stay in touch everywhere you go.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
The Ticket Machine is your local connection to concert, theater, and sporting event tickets nationwide. Our entertainment experts are ready to help you create a memorable experience, trusted by fans for more than 20 years. Whether you're looking for tickets for your corporate outing, family excursion, or vacation, we offer the best seats and the best prices. Grab a front row seat now on theticketmachine.com.
The student bookstores are Green and White Shop headquarters. Outfit your entire family with Spartan gear. We have a large selection of men's, women's, and children's clothing. Show off your Michigan State pride with new shoes, socks, hats, and more. Have your tailgate ready with MSU party supplies, car accessories, and dress your pet in green and white. We have gifts for students, grads, alumni, and fans. From Vera Bradley and Dooney and Burke to diploma frames and more. Always shop SBS for the biggest and best selection of green and white. Go green, go white, go SBS.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Back with you from the United Center, scene of Michigan State's 65-60 win over Michigan. Tom Crawford, when the Wolverines went back up by 12, 15:42 to go, did you think this would be Amazing Blue Day?
I wouldn't have thought it was Amazing Blue Day and if there was a minute and a half to go and they're up by 12. This is just one of those years. I mean, yeah, maybe it's cliche, Michigan State, Michigan's head and all that stuff, but you got to beat them by 10 to beat them by 2. This is one of those years, and there was an opportunity to extend that lead up. Michigan State countered, punched on that, and then all of a sudden it was down the stretch, and then you could see it. Look, I was sitting right behind Michigan's bench. You could kind of see it in their eyes during the timeouts. I was looking at Jordan. He didn't look like he normally looks, and his 3 of 13 shooting obviously showed that.
Rico, John Beilein, very complimentary to Michigan State, said this is just a bad matchup for us. What did he mean?
He meant that, I talked to him after the game, that Michigan's just had a problem finishing with Michigan State, and they just kind of lost their focus, and they weren't as driven as they were in the first half. I mean, if you take the first half of these games, they look like a totally different team. Yeah. Something happens, and when Michigan State finally comes back, they lose it. Now, I thought this game was going to be a little bit different because State couldn't get over the hump. They tied it a couple times. They got within one, but they couldn't make that big shot. Cassius shot a couple threes that came out. They couldn't get over the hump. Finally, they took the lead for like the first time since it was, I think, 18-17, and it was, late in the game.
Another element is, I mean, the bench got short, and like Castleton got a buck and a half time-wise, so it was a 7-man rotation, and Eli Brooks only played like 5 or 6 minutes. I mean, it was a 6-man rotation, and you can see it in testing. When you're up close, you can see he's fatiguing. He was fatiguing halfway through the first half.
I think that's a key point, because I think if you had a healthy, Teskey in there, that he would probably block that shot that Cassius shot at the end of the game.
And he was out at a critical time down there with about 4 minutes.
He had 3 fouls, so he was starting to think like that, and it just kind of it was creeping in that he wasn't as fresh as he was normally in the first half.
So when Michigan led 41-29, how did Michigan State pull to make it 46-41?
Okay, Tom's not going to like this, but you simply have to wait for Michigan to hit their drought. Michigan has a drought.
They're going to have one every game.
Now, against bad teams,
they don't have droughts.
They have droughts, but it doesn't affect them because they're better than the team.
No, I get it.
That they can get over that drought. But when they have droughts against good teams, that's when Michigan State didn't panic and said, okay, guys, let's get it to single digits. Okay, let's get it to 5. Let's get it to 4.
And Livers hit the 3 to break the drought.
Right.
but you could still feel that they were not in sync offensively.
Right, it was just, let's chip away at this. There's no such thing as a 13-point basket, so let's just do what we have to do. Let's not panic, let's play our game, because I think what Michigan wanted State to do was start just jacking up threes left and right. State still tried to get the ball down low. Castle started driving, and next thing you know,
they were going deep in the shot clock, and they were patient, Michigan State was.
Tom, remember when we saw Isaiah Livers at Kalamazoo Central?
Yeah.
And Xavier Tillman playing at Lansing Eastern at Don Johnson Fieldhouse. And Xavier Tillman weighed 74 pounds more. Now, they're the same weight.
Right.
X has lost all that weight, and Isaiah Livers,
Isaiah Livers looks like an NFL tight end, and I'm not exaggerating. He is a big dude, and that's why he can help out so often in the 5, as opposed to having Castleton in there. Castleton, this was a little bit over his head today. I think that's why he only played a minute and a half.
Michigan State shot better from deep after a rough start. Didn't make any threes at the outset, and also had a 9-rebound advantage. And once again, we see in a close game, you get 3 or 4 extra rebounds, especially at the offensive end. Michigan State, 11 offensive rebounds. Michigan, just 3. Those are extra opportunities.
Right. But statistically, the turnovers, the assists were about even. But yeah, that's what they were getting on the offensive end. Michigan State was plucking them like they normally do, and that's the strength of their program.
What does it mean that John Beilein's program had a 10-game Big Ten tournament winning streak, nearly made it 11, lost in this event for the first time since 2016.
All that stuff hurts, Jack, till you bring it up. I mean, it really does from a Michigan standpoint. But I'm telling you what, I mean, last year, Michigan beat Michigan State twice.
Yeah.
Now it kind of goes in trends. Who knows what next year will bring? You really don't know, but I'm telling you what, it's a great rivalry. Like I mentioned earlier in the show, I mean, I just thought these two teams it's a public school version of Duke and North Carolina. 2 public in-state teams. I think it's terrific.
Michigan State has won 8 of the last 10 matchups in the series now, Rico. Won 5 in a row, and then Michigan had their run and won 3, so I should say 8 of 11. Michigan won 3 in a row, won the last game in the regular season back in Chrysler in 2017.
But Michigan has gotten out of the first weekend the last 2 years in a row. Michigan State is 0 for 3 on getting out of the first week.
And I like Michigan's chances here in this region. I think this is by far the easiest region.
Well, with Montana,
maybe I'm missing something. But,
playing the same team with Montana.
Yeah, I remember saying that again. They had Middle Tennessee.
No, I mean, you can't assume anything. I'm right with you on that. I mean, you got to look at it on paper.
I'll tell you, when Michigan State drew Middle Tennessee, Tom Izzo wasn't happy with that. He knew what Middle Tennessee could do, and that's when he thought Michigan State should have been a 1 seed. Now, Michigan and Michigan State both 2 seeds, but it looks like Michigan got a better draw. Even if you look at the 3 seeds in the East, it's LSU, the regular season SEC champ, and in the West, it's Texas Tech.
Yeah, which is a good defensive team. I mean, all these teams.
Is that first team to 50 wins that game?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's going to be a muck-it-up game, but it's survive and advance in its truest sense.
We'll be right back on Press Pass.
It's the Graf Saving of the Green Sale, the time of year to save a pot of gold. Release the leprechauns.
The savings at Graf are crazy! Yeah! Graf's minimum trade is back! Get more gold for your trade!
Get a 2019 Silverado Double Cab 4-wheel drive, just $242 a month. Or drive away a new Equinox LT for only $179 a month.
It's the Graf Saving of the Green Sale going on now at a Graf dealership near you. You'll save so much money, you'll feel like dancing like a leprechaun too.
Team spirit, face paint, more cowbell. Dean Trailways Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
You're up. There's an old saying, you can never have too many officials. The age of the average official is 52 and getting older all the time. We're constantly recruiting new people, younger people to join us. After you register with the MHSAA, look on the website to find an officials association near you. They'll put you in a position to succeed as an official. We all learned a lot from high school sports, and officiating is a great way to give back to the game. There's help wanted, just whistle.
Touchdown, Falcons.
Watch Live PD Police Patrol weeknights at 10 on My 47.4.
If you come to Arby's from 2 to 5 p.m., you can get sliders for $1. For another $1, you can get a drink or a shake. And for the low, low price of another $1, you can round out this afternoon snack with warm cookies. It's really a meal at this point, but call it a snack. That way you can come back for dinner.
Arby's, we have the meats.
For sandwiches.
Wilbur's Posehn Pools is now scheduling pool openings and service. Pool season will be here before you know it, so call the experts. Don't be the last one in your neighborhood to be enjoying your beautiful backyard. Schedule your pool opening or service today.
Lakeside Fire and Grill can totally transform that dark and drafty wood fireplace into a warm and efficient focal point with a Cozy Heat gas fireplace insert.
Honest, polite, and never pushy. Come see us at Superior Saw and Lakeside Fire and Grill between Holt and Mason on Cedar Street.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for The Big Picture, brought to you by Dean Trailways. With trips for every season, Dean takes care of the details so you can enjoy the experience, including daily casino runs and great getaways to northern Michigan and Chicago, where we are tonight, and where Doug Warren and I were in August for the NFL Legends Classic. That's Dean Trailways, your favorite ride. Gentlemen, when we look at Duke, North Carolina, in this ACC tournament semifinal, two heavyweights going at it. Seems like we got a lot of these games. Even that was a semifinal. We got a terrific semifinal with Kentucky and Tennessee. The difference was this one was for the trophy, the next to last trophy that Jim Delaney will present.
yeah. I mean, I tell you, this is the most exciting tournament of all those conference tournaments. I think didn't Tennessee get hammered by Kentucky?
Yeah, you know, because I think Tennessee, they did everything they could to beat Kentucky. They had nothing left in the tank. It was one of those things they celebrated a little too much last night. Yeah. And I think the Big Ten may have gotten robbed. You know, if Michigan had to play Purdue, then maybe you would have got a better game. But, you know, yesterday's games were just kind of ho-hum.
They were.
Both teams took the lead and never lost.
Just waiting to get to Sunday.
Yeah. Tom, they say it's tough to beat a team 3 times.
Yeah. Some teams be able to do it, I guess.
North Carolina learned out how tough it is. And with Zion Williamson back, Duke got their revenge and got their overall
What it does, it validates how big of an impact Zion Williamson has on that team. He comes back, and that's why they're number 1 seed. He comes back. See, I told you. See how good he is? They'd be doing this all season long.
Here's the thing, guys, and if you want to really look at it and do the 6 degrees of separation, Duke really dictated all the number 1 seeds. Carolina is a number 1 seed because they beat Duke twice. Virginia is a number 1 seed because they only lost to Duke. Gonzaga is a number 1 seed because they beat Duke with Zion.
And that Gonzaga win over Thanksgiving weekend was the only thing that really kept Gonzaga in that spot because they didn't play anybody else.
Right. But if Duke's the number 1 overall seed, you can't punish Gonzaga because so it all came down to the number 1 seeds. There's a 6 degree separation.
And Duke survived and did pretty well without Zion. Now that they have him back, they're probably a better team.
How funny if they had lost their first game, pulled to Virginia.
Let's look at what we watched here this week. And Rico, 13 games. What did we learn about the Big Ten, the tournament coming back to Chicago where it began after going to Washington, D.C. and New York?
I think that one, it should stay in the Midwest. It should stay in Chicago. Really, you could stay in Indy. I didn't say that.
Stay in. It's perfect.
I'd rather stay in Indy. I like Chicago.
And leave it at that.
Yeah, and that's it. You don't need to take it to Minneapolis. You don't need to take it to Detroit. No. You don't need to take it out to Omaha.
Don't go out to New York.
Leave it Washington, D.C. Leave it where it's at. I also think that you learned from the Big Ten that this was really a 2-team conference. And I said at the beginning of the year, it's going to be Michigan, Michigan State, and then you can kind of fill in the blank of who was going to be 3 and pencil Wisconsin in at 4 because Wisconsin's always.
But Purdue got to share the title.
But how did Purdue let Minnesota beat them back-to-back? I mean, that was a payback game for Purdue, and they were all geeked up. The crowd was pretty loud up here for the Boilermakers.
You know what? For the same way that Michigan State couldn't get over Indiana, it was just a bad matchup, and Carson Edwards went Carson Edwards.
I know about bad matchups.
It shows me why he should not have been the MVP of the league because he doesn't get his teammates involved. And when things go bad, he just says, I don't know who you 4 guys are. I'm just going to chuck up 30 shots.
I saw Jesse Jackson here after the game And he's talking to Tom Izzo, congratulating him. I forgot that he got an honorary doctorate when he gave the commencement address at Michigan State. Become a Spartan fan. And his daughter, Jackie, 2 years ago got her PhD at Michigan State. Now she's teaching, so it could be the first father-daughter dual PhD.
And he was a commencement speaker at my graduation.
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
A lot of connections.
Michigan State did all it needed to do, Tom, against Ohio State and Wisconsin to get here.
Yep.
Michigan, likewise, against Iowa and Minnesota. What else stood out to you about the Big Ten teams that were here? Who deserves a little bit of applause?
Well, I mean, I guess Minnesota was really surprised me, but I was really disappointed Penn State could not have moved forward a little bit. Maryland was a big disappointment. I thought, how do they lose to Nebraska? It's almost not. That's the biggest surprise, the negative surprise.
Tim Miles did do quite enough to keep his job.
Yeah, but he was fun on the way out.
Wins.
He's a good sport, but I think he's going to be looking for a new job this coming week.
When you look at this event, Rico, and the success over the years, we can take a look at all of the teams and how many games in the Big Ten and how many tournaments. Why has Michigan State won more games in this tournament than Purdue and Indiana combined?
I think it's the fact, Jack, that it's like self-fulfilling because they play so many games in the tournament. The older guys can tell the younger guys what to expect, how to practice, where to eat, how to do all the little things so that it's not wide-eyed like, ooh, this is the first time.
Right.
They already know before they get off the bus. This is what we do. This is how we always do it.
And I think the intensity level of this conference title game bodes well for Michigan State. They've experienced this when they go on the infield.
We will be back in just a minute, and we're going to talk some pro football. Doug Warren will join us. We'll look at the Lions and other big moves in the NFL up next.
It's the polar vortex leaves mid-Michigan. The Toro Vortex has arrived. Get a whirlwind of the year's best discounts with the Toro Spring Sales Event. Get $50 off the Toro Super Recycler, $300 off the Residential Zero Turn, and $1,500 off the Toro Grandstand Multiforce. The Toro Spring Sales Event ends March 28th, giving you the best deals just in time for the mowing season to start. So come into Midwest Power Equipment today.
From all of us at Fox's 911,
thank you to all of our first responders. We're pleased to honor these local heroes.
Providing protection through education, prevention, and service.
Our family protecting yours since 1838.
Proudly serving Windsor Township and the village of Diamonddale.
Thank you to them and all our local first responders.
Watch it live Mondays at 9/8 Central on Fox.
The Holton Diamonddale Insurance Agency proudly supports our family of first responders.
Returns March 18th on Fox 47.
Download the Fox 47 News app and stay connected everywhere you go.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
The Ticket Machine is your local connection to concert, theater, and sporting event tickets nationwide. Our entertainment experts are ready to help you create a memorable experience, trusted by fans for more than 20 years. Whether you're looking for tickets for your corporate outing, family excursion, or vacation, we offer the best seats and the best prices. Grab a front row seat now on theticketmachine.com.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Law of the Jungle segment, brought to you by Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road, your healthy alternative to fast food. We're talking about chicken shawarma with baked breast meat and hummus made fresh in a 3-day process. That's why I'm there every week. The Woody's items are now available at Tom's Foods, Horrocks, and other local grocers. I want to throw it back to the studio at Fox 47 and welcome in our Lions historian and NFL expert, Doug Warren. Doug, a very big week. The Lions not sitting on their hands, very active, acquiring Trey Flowers, a pass rusher from the Patriots, and Jesse James, a tight end from the Steelers. Can you address what that means to this franchise and also talk a little bit about some other big acquisitions this week? The Browns picking up Odell Beckham Jr. in a big trade with the Giants, and the New York Jets signing former Spartan standout Le'Veon Bell.
Well, Jack, the Lions made one of the biggest splashes in day one of free agency, signing Trey Flowers, the leader of the class, Justin Coleman. They made him the highest paid nickel corner in all of the NFL, as well as Jesse James, a tight end who kind of flew under the radar as far as name recognition goes, but he's a guy who they need as a blocker first and foremost. And bringing him over from the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think that they can instill him into the offensive sets, passing game, and get him a little bit bigger numbers than what he had playing in the Steel City. But the Lions need to address some number of needs, and now that they've set things up in free agency, they still have some cap space available too, because these signings in the 2019 salary cap structure, they're front-loaded. They're low numbers in the front, and they pay a little bit heavier price on the back end, but this still gives them some leeway to maybe make a trade or two leading up to the regular season, especially on draft day. The Lions could be big players, I think, in that realm. It remains to be seen what they're going to do, but I think they leave themselves a lot of room salary cap-wise to maybe make a move or two on draft day, bring in a big name, whether it be maybe a backup quarterback, something like that. But the Lions are setting themselves up, I think, financially for 2019 to make a big push to try to get to the playoffs and move forward. Now, in regards to what they're looking to do in the draft, now with Trey Flowers, the highest ranked defensive end in the class, that settles them, at least on one side of the defensive front. They still need to address somebody on the opposite side. Now, whether they're probably going to do that somewhere in the draft. Now, whether Justin Allen from Kentucky falls to them or somebody else along that realm, I think they're going to have to do that. They still, as good as Justin Coleman is as a nickel corner, questions remain for him as far as being the opposite of Darius Slay. So the Lions could go that way in the first round, maybe taking a Greedy Williams or somebody else. Lions do have themselves open for some options, as well as tight end somewhere along in the middle rounds of the draft. Now, as far as what's going on in the rest of the league, the Cleveland Browns have gotten themselves very good very quickly. Last year, taking Baker Mayfield #1 overall, he came in after the firing of Hugh Jackson, bringing him in as the #1 starter for the Cleveland Browns. He's the franchise quarterback. I saw it late in the season when I went down to see the Browns play in Cincinnati. They believe in him. He is the guy who's in control of the locker room. He has that it factor that all great quarterbacks have. And now the Browns, with John Dorsey as the GM, they've capitalized on that, bringing in players, doing a great job in drafting the last couple of years, but this week making a humongous trade, bringing in Odell Beckham Jr. to give Baker Mayfield a prime target in the passing game to go with David Njoku and other players already in the mix for Cleveland. Cleveland has gotten really good on paper real fast, and they, I think, are the front runners to win the AFC North going into the season, with the Steelers being in flux, so much turnover in Baltimore, and the Cincinnati Bengals still just floundering in the basement. In regard to other teams in the league, Le'Veon Bell, of course everybody remembers him from his days here at MSU, sat out last year, took a gamble on himself. I think it's paid off. People will say, well, he lost $17 million or so last year for the Steelers. You know what? This guy reminds me of what John Riggins did in 1980 when he sat out the year with Washington, took a year off, went back to Kansas to go fishing and hunting, came back in 1981, and had some of the greatest years of his entire Hall of Fame career. After that year off with the Washington Redskins, he won a Super Bowl MVP, 12, 1,300-yard rushing seasons with the Redskins. After that layoff, I think Le'Veon Bell's setting him up very nicely. And being in the fishbowl that is New York, with the Giants floundering, not really having a compass as to where they want to go, the Jets are in prime position, finally, maybe after 50 years, to move into the top spot as far as NFL teams go in the city of New York. They have their act together. They have the franchise quarterback in Sam Darnold. Now Le'Veon Bell can be his safety valve. Le'Veon Bell has set him up perfectly, not only, I think, as far as being the bell cow back for the Jets, but being in the city of New York. he's got a lot of football left in the tank, I think, and the endorsements and the stuff off the field, this guy could set himself up financially very well in the foreseeable future if things work out for him in the New York market. But for the Detroit Lions, big splashes on day one of free agency. I think they're still going to bring in a guy or two. And also, I think the Lions are going to be looking in the draft, probably not in the first round, at number 8. They need to address the defense. But they're going to get a backup quarterback, a legitimate backup quarterback for Matthew Stafford moving forward to this season. So we'll be back after this with more MSU Michigan basketball.
Invisible Fence brand gives your pets the independence and security to enjoy your entire yard. From pet training certified by leading animal behaviorists to set up an installation, Invisible Fence will design a solution customized to your needs. Boundary Plus technology, rated a Consumer's Digest Best Buy, provides the longest range of protection against escape, while also providing your pet every inch of your yard to enjoy. Confidence, independence, security, Invisible Fence brand.
Come find out why it's better at Bugie. Better deals, better service, and a better experience because of our team. Right now, get 16% off or 0% for 72 months on the Buick Encore or Envision, or lease the 2019 Encore for as low as $149 per month. And the 2019 GMC Terrain can be leased for as little as $169 per month. Get to Glenn Bugie Buick GMC in Lansing and Glenn Bugie Chevrolet in Eaton Rapids. Come find out why it's better.
Support World Down Syndrome Day by posting pictures of your silliest socks to our Facebook page.
MasterChef Junior goes to the circus.
Touch that! It's cold!
Will the pressure cooker be too much to juggle?
It is that.
All new Tuesday on Fox.
Team spirit. Face paint. More cowbell. Dean Trailway's Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Take It to the Bank segment, brought to you by Dart Bank, dedicated to meeting the needs of our banking community for more than 90 years, with 4 convenient locations in Mason, Holton South Lansing, Grand Ledge, and the expanded Home Loan Center in Frandor. That's Dart Bank for what matters most. Tom Crawford, when we talk about the Big Ten this season, a lot of people were speculating this league could get as many as 10 teams in the tournament. Didn't turn out that way.
That was week number, that was back in November, though, keep it that way.
But still did get 8 in, barely. What's your lock for those teams that managed to make it in, especially the Tier 2 teams? We got Purdue that was in Tier 1 with Michigan and Michigan State. Right. But then you've got Wisconsin, Maryland, Iowa in Tier 2, Iowa falling on a lot of hard times. What do you make of those teams and their chances to get out?
Well, I think I was the first team probably out of here. I don't. It doesn't bode well for Wisconsin, Maryland, and Iowa in my mind. I mean, I see Wisconsin dropping to K-State, Maryland to LSU. Maryland didn't look very good here in the tournament, and then, like I said about Iowa, and I don't even think Purdue's going to get by Villanova.
LSU lost to Florida.
Yeah, I know, but I mean they're more athletic than. I mean, I just think Maryland is a weird team, and what I saw the other night when they lost to Nebraska, I go, God, they're not that good. But you look at teams and think, God, they look really good, and then the next week the next game they look bad.
No, you know what? Here's the thing. I think Iowa's actually they're reeling, but I think that they'll get corrected.
Would you say of the 4 teams, Purdue, Wisconsin, Maryland, Iowa might go the furthest?
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I could see
Iowa didn't attack Michigan.
Purdue has to beat Villanova to get out of week 1.
That's going to be the difficult one. But Maryland going up against LSU, everything that's going on with Coach Will Wade, That's weighing on that.
That's
LSU
a good point.
thing.
I forgot about that.
Maryland may be able to capitalize on that.
Sometimes those go the other direction, though, and they bond.
Yeah, they didn't, because I thought that they would win the SEC, and you're starting to see it's eroding away.
Rico, what about the teams that came to Chicago with work to do? We're talking about Minnesota, maybe, certainly Ohio State and Indiana. 2 of the 3 made it in.
Yeah.
And Indiana almost made it in.
Yeah, Indiana just lost too many games. That 12 of 13 game losing streak. I mean, Tom Izzo did his best to get Indiana in the tournament.
They had the playing game. They couldn't beat Ohio State.
And had Indiana beat Ohio State, maybe, Tom, you guys are cutting down the nets. Because a bad matchup, for some reason, Michigan State couldn't beat Indiana.
I think they would have beaten Indiana.
I don't know.
Michigan State had beaten Indiana twice. They might be a 4 seed. Who knows? That's kind of the way it works in this deal.
It's not your rationale.
All right, what can we take it to the bank with the 8 teams that did make it in? Guys, which of these Big Ten teams first to leave, and which one goes the furthest now?
The first to leave is going to be the Iowa Hawkeyes, the longest in the tournament. You're going to think this is home cooking here, Michigan Wolverines. Because I like their region. I think they're going to get to the Elite 8.
They just hope that Michigan State doesn't show up opposite them in Minneapolis.
Right,
otherwise,
I don't want that 4th game.
You don't?
No.
You've been saying
no,
about this
not anymore. Good for the state. What the hell with that crap?
I think you may be looking at Minnesota or Wisconsin, the first team out. And I think you could have Michigan State both leaving on the same day.
Elite 8?
In the Elite 8s.
Yeah. Because you don't think they're going to beat Duke.
Because
you always fear Duke. You fear
right,
Duke.
And I think that Gonzaga is a bad matchup for Michigan. They have something. They have a better athletic.
Well, they got athletic center. Yep, exactly. That's what Michigan has.
Rui Hachimura is a lot better than John Texas.
Matt McQuaid has won 2 regular season Big Ten titles, 2 Big Ten tournament titles, but he has never made it to the Sweet 16. Is this a year that changes, Rico?
This changes this year. They finally make it. You'll hear a sigh of relief. They
make it a successful season.
We'll be right back with our Cool and Smooth weekly awards from Culver's up next.
It's the Kraft Saving of the Green Sale, the time of year to save a pot of gold. Release the leprechauns.
The savings at Kraft are crazy. Yeah! Kraft's minimum trade is back. Get more gold for your trade.
Get a 2019 Silverado Double Cab 4-wheel drive, just $242 a month. Or drive a new Chevrolet Trax for only $96 a month.
It's the Kraft Saving of the Green Sale going on now at a Kraft dealership near you. You'll save so much money, you'll feel like dancing like a leprechaun too.
The student bookstores are Green and White Shop headquarters. Outfit your entire family with Spartan gear. We have a large selection of men's, women's, and children's clothing. Show off your Michigan State pride with new shoes, socks, hats, and more. Have your tailgate ready with MSU party supplies, car accessories, and dress your pet in green and white. We have gifts for students, grads, alumni, and fans. From Vera Bradley and Dooney and Burke to diploma frames and more. Always shop SBS for the biggest and best selection of green and white. Go green, go white, go SBS.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
Don't miss Daily Mail, weeknights at 6 on My 47.4.
From business to farms, Hastings Mutual will protect your best assets.
So I want my glasses to be unique. My girlfriend loves artists. And I need a conservative pair because her parents hate artists.
Get up to 40% off a second pair of glasses. Schedule your eye exam at pearlvision.com.
Monster Motors wants you to watch Last Man Standing, weeknights at 7:30 on Fox 47.
Big Bang Cartier prototype, Sheldon. The Big Bang Theory, 5 nights a week.
Welcome back to Press Pass on Fox 47. It's time for our Cool and Smooth segment brought to you by all 5 Culver's locations in mid-Michigan. Since 1982, Culver's has been delighting guests one meal at a time with scrumptious Butterburgers and premium frozen custard. That's Culver's. Welcome to Delicious. All right, Team 286, time for our weekly awards, and who has been as cool and smooth as a Culver's mint explosion this week? Rico Beard, let's start with you and our play of the week.
Play of the week happened right here in Chicago, but it's not the play that you all think that I'm going to say. It was actually after a game. Nebraska head coach Tim Miles, they just beat Rutgers 68-61. He's running up the tunnel there, trips, falls, tumbles, and then he slides. Safe. Tim Miles, you know, he was a good sport about it.
Yeah. Self-deprecation.
It was, because it was an embarrassing moment. You couldn't play that one off. So Tim Miles gets my play of the week.
Coaching and sprawling for his job here in Chicago. Time for our team of the week, and lots of ways we could go. Obviously, so much college basketball, what Duke has done. Of course, here at the United Center. I want to go back to Breslin Center and all the high school state champions yesterday. You can talk about Ypsilanti Lincoln with all these close finishes. But we're going to stay a little closer to home, and Pewamo Westphalia won the game. Very controversial finish, travel call or non-call. And then you've got 2 free throws for Colin Trierweiler with 0.7 left. And that gave PW the 53-52 win over Iron Mountain. The great thing about PW, Tom, not just the cheerleading championship, not just the girls basketball championship they could win next week, the boys basketball teams, freshman, JV, and varsity, a combined 67-0. Hats off to the Pirates.
Do I know probably one person in the Breslin Center not happy with that?
Yeah, a lot of Iron Mountain fans.
Right, that was felt bad.
Tom Izzo couldn't buy dinner for the team either.
Mariucci
picked that up. Tom, what about our game of the week?
Game of the week, I'm going to go games of the week. Michigan versus Michigan State. The third time in the Great Mitten State. 2 great public programs. Doing it the right way. And I think there's going to be a 4th one. I truly believe that. Michigan State, 183 times they played, 5 times in the top 10. Today it marked that, and I'm seeing them going to Minneapolis. I swear to God, we're going to see this all over again. So get ready, buckle up, embrace it. Michigan versus Michigan State.
Rico, I remember Michigan State playing Wisconsin 4 times in a year.
They did.
How'd that work out?
State won all 4, so just saying.
All right, time for our player of the week, Zion Williamson. And he'd been out since February 20th after the exploding shoe. Comes back and 3 wins for Duke, beating North Carolina in a de facto championship game and #1 seed game. And Duke got it done. Williamson was fantastic. 21-5, played all but 4 seconds of the championship game against Florida State, a 10-point win. So people said, what's he going to be able to do when he gets back? How long does it take him? It didn't take him very long. And when he came back, he showed exactly why all these teams are trying for Zion.
Right.
And they're doing everything they can to...
Except the Pistons.
Yeah, there are teams, a lot of others that are doing that and thinking that, hey, if we can just get this guy, he's going to be LeBron. You don't know if there's ever been anyone quite like him in terms of physical stature at this point.
Intimidating. I call him the Herschel Walker of college basketball 30 years ago. He just dominates.
And a lot of people think, hey, Duke should be #1 because what happened when he was gone? It just shows how valuable he is.
Yeah, they made up for it. They beat North Carolina. North Carolina beat them 2 times without Zion.
Right.
They benefited from it, so good for them.
It's going to be a lot of fun to watch him in the NCAA tournament and, of course, in the NBA as the #1 pick. And draft lottery, some teams going to be very, very happy, and they're going to sell a lot of tickets.
Take a couple friends with him, including R.J. Barrett.
Be looking forward to that. I want to thank everyone who helped make the show happen. Chuck Daniel, Andy Chimera, the crew back at Fox 47. Appreciate Casey here for helping us with video. Rico Beard, the Spartan Beat, weekdays from noon to 2. And Tom Crawford, my co-host, The Drive with Jack and Tom. We'll see you next week, everyone.